If you really want to understand Swift's irony, the last chapter of Gulliver's Travels really epitomizes it in a nutshell. First of all, we have this elaborate, it's called The Author's Veracity. Let me tell you how truthful I am. Now, it is very clear that this entire book has been nothing but a farrago of fantastical lies. And then Gulliver comes on, oh man, so many travelers tell all kinds of lies in their stories. This is hilarious and ridiculous. This is fiction. We're not meant to believe it. But there's a great kind of joke here, like, oh yeah, do you believe the lies some people tell in their travel stories? I, of course, am telling nothing but the truth. So the emperor was 6 inches tall. Um, Swift's satiric imagination takes no prisoners and spares nobody. So let's show an example of how he takes an attack, turns it around in a way that seems to limit it, but actually deepens it, and then comes back in for the kill. Discussing colonization. If all these voyages to foreign countries seem like possible colonial things to you, yes. So, um, so the various people have told Gulliver, like, you really should write to the government to tell them about these places you found because you're a subject, you got there, so therefore they're English. The logic here being an Englishman stepped on this island, therefore the King of England owns this island and the people on it. This is the logic. Here is Swift, through Gulliver's description of how of the distributive justice of princes upon these occasions. For instance, a crew of pirates are driven by a storm, they know not whither. At length a boy discovers land from the topmast. They go on shore to rob and plunder. They see an harmless people, are entertained with kindness. They give the country a new name. They take formal possession of it for their king. They set up a rotten plank or a stone for a memorial. They murder 2 or 3 dozen of the natives, bring away a couple more by force for a sample, return home, and get their pardon for piracy. Here commences a new dominion acquired with the title, by divine right. Ships are sent with the first opportunity, the natives driven out or destroyed, their princes tortured to discover their gold, a free license given to all acts of inhumanity and lust, the earth reeking with the blood of its inhabitants, and this execrable crew of butchers employed in so pious an expedition is a modern colony, sent to convert and civilize an idolatrous and barbarous people. Okay. That's great right there. Yeah, you're the ones killing everybody and you're calling them barbarians. Who's the barbarian here? Who's barbarous? I think the people killing, enslaving, looting, and raping, that would be the barbarians. That would be us. Does Swift mean that Britain should get rid of its colonies? No, but he's going to make moral critique everywhere. Then he flips it around, and here's the defense. But this description, I confess, doth by no means affect the British nation, who may be an example to the whole world for their wisdom, care, and justice in planting colonies, their liberal endowments for the advancement of religion and learning, their choice of devout and able pastors to propagate Christianity, their caution in stocking their provinces with people of sober lives and conversations from this the mother kingdom, their strict regard to the distribution of justice, in supplying the civil administration through all their colonies with officers of the greatest abilities, utter strangers to corruption, and to crown it all by sending the most vigilant and virtuous governors who have no other views than the happiness of the people over whom they preside and the honor of the king, their master. How much of that paragraph was ironic? All of it. Angrily, viciously ironic. It's opposite. Of course, the British aren't like that. We only send the best people. We only send wonderful, virtuous people, good ministers, uncorrupt, virtuous governors who aren't interested in making themselves rich at all. Everybody knows this is a lie. He is attacking them. He's like, this is the hardest market. But of course, the British aren't like that. Of course not. We all know what a wonderful, virtuous, benign job they do as colonial masters. The opposite is true. Swift is turning the knife. After that description, that the exception, the British is like not an exception. It's like, you know exactly what it is. Oh yeah, we're great. Like those colonists. You know damn well what we do in our colonies, fellow Englishmen. But as those countries which I've described do not appear to have any desire of being conquered and enslaved, murdered, or driven out by colonies, nor abound either in gold, silver, sugar, or tobacco, I did humbly conceive that there were no means proper objects of zeal. And if you didn't get it, well, I feel like they don't really want to be conquered and then driven out of their land and enslaved. As if anybody does, right? Here, Swift is taking the colonist point of view. I don't think the Wyndhams want to be driven out. There's also earlier like, hey, I don't think it's worth it to go invade Lilliput, and also the second voyage to Brobdingnag, instead of being 12 times smaller than we are, they're 12 times taller. They're massive giants. I think we can't invade. I think that's not a good idea. And the third and fourth voyage also placed people who probably wouldn't roll over easily, even for the British Navy. That is Swift in a nutshell. He gives a withering moral attack. He pretends to be excluding Britain from that attack, but in fact that's making it much worse, and he comes back to the attack again. I guess I think the Wyndhams don't want to be colonized and enslaved. The joke there is as if somebody did. Okay, that's where I'll leave us. Next, it's 1726, only 50 years till the American Revolution, when some colonists get tired of some British governors. I will leave you. I've enjoyed the summer. I know you have a lot of work left to do. Good luck.